Hello and welcome to Chapter 2, Lesson 1 of the math. This is prime factorization, page 81. So it says you can write every composite number as a product of prime numbers. This is called prime factorization of a number. A factor tree is a diagram that shows the prime factorization of a composite number. So before we actually dive into this, I want to do a short review to the side about prime numbers and composite numbers. If you're in my class, I want you to write this down. It says prime and composites. So prime number is when a number, when a number's only factors are itself and 1. So an example, the number 3. In order to get 3, I can only get 1 times 3. 2, I can only do 1 times 2. 7, I can only do 1 times 7. 11, I can only do 1 times 11. So these are all examples of prime numbers because I can only multiply them by itself and 1 in order to get them as a product. Now, a composite has more than one set of factors. So, for example, if I have 4, I can do 2 times 2 equals 4, and I can also do 4 times 1. These are multiple sets of factors. So if I did 12, that can be split up in 4 times 3, or it can be 6 times 2, or 2 times 6, and vice versa. And you got 12 times 1. So these are all examples of composite numbers. We have composite numbers over here, and we have prime numbers over here. So just remember, primes are only numbers that are factors with itself and 1. So we're going to come over to example 1. It says, Mr. Dempsey surveyed his class and found that his students have a total of 36 pets. Find the prime factorization of 36. So this is step 1. Write the number to be factored on the top. And that is included right here and right here. So there's multiple ways to get 36. So step 2 says choose any pair of whole numbers of factors with 36. So I know the number 2 times 18 is going to give me 36. And if I go on the other side, that's 3 times 12 is going to give me 36. Now if I look at 2 and 3, these are prime numbers. So my prime numbers is just going to drop down to my next set of values. Because 18 and 12 are composite numbers, and I can find factors from those. So 18, I can do 3 times 6. 3 is a prime number, so my 3 is just going to drop down. 6 is still a composite number, so I need to split that up to make it factors to make them prime numbers. So I can do 2 times 3. So at the end, I should have all prime numbers at the end of my factor tree. So we're going to jump back to 3 times 12. So I can do 3 times 4 equals 12. 3 is a prime number, so that's going to drop. 4 is a composite number, so I can split that up as 2 times 2. Now I have all prime numbers here on the bottom. So if we jump down to step 5, it says write the prime factors in order from least to greatest. So that's going to be 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. And if you're a little far ahead, that's going to be 2 squared times 3 squared. This is just for an extra bonus, because that will be in a couple lessons up ahead. So check your work backwards, multiply all the prime factors in order from left to right, then compare your product with the composite number. So if I do 2 times 2, that's going to equal 4. And then 4 times 3 is going to equal 12. And if I multiply that by 3, I get 36. So I know my numbers 2, 2, 3, 3 are my prime factorizations of 36. So this is just checking my work. So we're going to move on to example 2. We have to find the prime factorization of 24. So 24, the book already gave us 3. So I know 24, so 3 times the number equals 24. I know that's going to be 3 times 8 equals 24. Now, just a heads up, you can do multiple different options. You can do 3 times 8, 4 times 6, or 2 times 12. Whichever one, they're all going to give you the same answer at the end. But what we are working with is the 3 times 8. So we have 3 times 8, and we can split that up by 2 times 4 equals 8. Now my 3 is a prime number already, so it drops down. My 2 is a prime number, so that's just going to drop down. 4 is not prime, 4 is composite. So I can split up to 4. 2 times 2 equals 4. Now that I have all prime numbers at the bottom, I can go ahead and order them from least to greatest. So I have 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. And for the exponent, that's also 2 to the third power times 3. And if you don't know this yet, don't worry, that will be in a couple lessons. This is just to kind of get you guys exposed to exponents. So it says work backwards, multiply all the prime factors in order from left to right, then compare your product with the composite number. So I know 2 times 2 is going to be equal 4, and then times 2 again equals 8, and then times 3 equals 24. So I know my answer is correct by checking my work. So now the guided practice. So you're going to go ahead and try doing the guided practice. Just remember at the end, you need to make sure all of your numbers are prime. That's the main thing about the prime factorization. And this, make sure we order it from least to greatest. Very important. Least to greatest right there. So go ahead and pause the video and try this on your own. So we have 16 and we have a 2 here. So we're going to split that up with 2 times the number equals 16. I know it's 2 times 8. And then we have to, 8 is still composite, so I have to do another step. 2 times 4. 2 is a prime number, so I can drop it to the bottom. And 4 is composite, so I have to make that up to 2 times 2. So at the end, I have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And from least to greatest, since they're all equal, I can just kind of put them down. And this also, just give you guys a heads up, this also equals 2 to the 4th power. So just remember, this is just more in a few lessons up ahead. Just want to give you guys exposed to it for a little bit. But that is the end of the lesson. So thank you for watching.